Nobody saw this coming. Tiger Woods and Nelly Korda dropping short game wisdom together, and it's changing everything. When you think of short game masters, your mind probably goes straight to Tiger Woods, 15-time major champion, wedge wizard, and someone who's basically made a career out of saving par with finesse shots from inside 100 yards. And when you think of rising dominance in women's golf, it's impossible to ignore Nelly Korda. She's not just the world #1 on the LPGA Tour. She's become the benchmark for composure, precision, and clinical execution. But what happens when you take these two generational talents, throw them on the same practice tee, and ask them to break down the art of scoring from that tricky 100-yard range? You get something the golf world wasn't ready for. In a new 2025 tailor-made instructional video, Tiger Woods and Nelly Korda step away from the spotlight of competition and into the realm of mentorship and mechanics. The setup is simple. They each take turns discussing and demonstrating how they approach wedge shots, from tight lies, different pin positions, and variable winds, all the way down to shot shaping and stance adjustments. But what makes this video truly explosive isn't just the technique being discussed, it's the chemistry. It's the respect, and it's the way two legends in their respective corners of the sport approached the exact same problem, with totally different perspectives. This isn't your run-of-the-mill promo video slapped together with a couple of rehearsed lines and flashy editing. This is raw insight. Tiger talks tempo and control. Korda talks feel and consistency. Together, they pull the curtain back on how elite players think and execute when every yard matters, and the difference between birdie and bogey hangs in the balance. And yes, the golf world is absolutely eating it up. Fans have been flooding social media with reactions that range from shock to full-blown adoration. Who knew Nelly was this surgical with a wedge, one Twitter user posted. Tiger still dropping truth bombs like it's 2005, another commented. But the most common reaction? I just learned more in 8 minutes than in my last 8 lessons. This is exactly why the tailor-made collaboration matters. It's not just about swing planes and club selection. It's about a shared language of mastery that spans generations and genders. Let's be real for a second. How often do we get to see a male PGA icon and a female LPGA superstar side by side, not competing but collaborating? Almost never. And that's what gives this video its power. It's not just Tiger passing down tips to the next generation. It's Nelly standing toe-to-toe with a legend and showing that her understanding of the short game is just as elite, and maybe even more refined in today's game. This video sets the tone for something deeper than an instructional moment. It's a cultural moment. It tells us that the game is evolving, that insight doesn't need to come from just one camp anymore, and that the best in golf are ready to break down those invisible walls between tours, genders, and generations. And guess what? This is just the beginning. The real shocker is what they revealed next. From techniques that redefine shot selection to subtle mental tricks that even seasoned pros can't fake. You think this was just a video? Wait until you see how it's about to shift the entire conversation around wedge play. Seeing Tiger Woods and Nelly Korda actually team up. Then Chapter 2 is where the real gold is buried. This is the part that has golfers of all levels hitting replay and scribbling notes like their handicap depends on it. Because it does. Let's start with Nelly Korda. Quiet, focused, almost surgical in her delivery. While a lot of amateurs, and even some pros, think the key to short shots is a full-blooded swing, Korda calmly dismantles that idea with a single line. I never hit full shots from 100 yards. Wait, what? That's right, one of the best wedge players on the LPGA Tour refuses to go 100% on a 100-yard shot. Instead, she opts for 90% swings, deliberately holding back for the sake of control. Why? Because full power sacrifices precision, and when you're staring down a narrow pin placement with a tucked flag and unpredictable bounce, precision wins tournaments. And it's not just about swing effort. Korda talks about shot shaping, trajectory control, and even lie-specific adjustments with the kind of nuance that makes you question everything you thought you knew about wedge play. Watching her explain why she opens her stance on tight lies or keeps her hands slightly forward to increase spin is like attending a masterclass you didn't know you needed. The kind where every detail matters, and every variable, from turf firmness to wind swirl, gets factored in. Then there's Tiger. You already know he's built different, but here in this rare open book moment, he breaks down his wedge strategy like a surgeon explaining an operation. He doesn't just think about yardage, he thinks about windows. where the ball needs to launch, how high it should fly, where it should land, and how it should behave after touching down. He's not swinging to a target, he's painting a shot. His focus on distance control and spin rate is unreal. Tiger reveals how he mentally calibrates each shot by feel, not just by number. It's decades of experience distilled into a 2-minute explanation. And in a rare show of outward praise, he looks at Nelly after one of her shots and simply says, "That's how it's done. That's world class right there." Coming from Tiger, that's like a God blessing a fellow deity. And it isn't just flattery, it's recognition of preparation, execution, and calm under pressure. Woods sees in Korda a modern mastery of the short game that aligns with everything he's tried to teach for years. They might go about it differently. Tiger with his almost spiritual control, Korda with her clinical consistency, but the result is the same: repeatable precision under fire. But here's the kicker. This wasn't just a showcase, it was a conversation. A mutual learning moment where two elite players, instead of shielding their secrets, opened up for the world to see. And you better believe it's already sending shockwaves through driving ranges and clubhouses worldwide. Everyday golfers are starting to question that 100% lob wedge swing. Coaches are slowing students down instead of speeding them up, and players are finally starting to understand that less effort doesn't mean less result. It means more control, and more control means better scores. And this is where it starts getting spicy. Because as we peel back the layers of this collaboration, we uncover not just technical insight, but legacy talk. In the next chapter, Tiger Woods says something about Korda that's setting the internet on fire, and we're diving right into it. When Tiger Woods talks, the golf world listens, always has. But what he said this time, let's just say jaws didn't just drop, they bounced. Because in a moment of quiet awe during TaylorMade's 2025 short game breakdown, Tiger didn't just compliment Nelly Korda, he elevated her. She's one of the best players to ever live. That's it. That's the quote. No qualifiers, no on the LPGA Tour, no for her generation, just straight up GOAT-level language from the GOAT himself. And the reaction? Nuclear. Within hours, that moment was clipped, shared, subtitled, and memed across every platform you can think of. TikTok was spinning it into viral swing breakdowns. Golf Twitter went into meltdown mode. YouTube comment sections lit up like Augusta on Masters Sunday. Even Facebook dads and armchair coaches were forced to pause their back in my day takes and admit it. Tiger had just dropped a generational statement. Because here's the thing, Tiger doesn't throw out praise like that. We've seen him play with legends, coach up young stars, and mentor up-and-comers. But this wasn't generic locker room encouragement. This was public coronation. And it didn't come after a major win or a victory speech. It came mid-conversation, after watching Nelly dissect a 90-yard wedge shot with clinical perfection. And now the question is everywhere. Is Nelly Korda entering Tiger-like territory for women's golf? It's not a ridiculous question anymore. Korda's dominance on the LPGA Tour isn't just about wins, though she has plenty. It's the way she wins. The smooth tempo, the mental ice, the calm in the chaos. She's taken the modern game and made it look like art, the kind that leaves even other professionals wondering how she makes it look that easy. And now, with Woods' seal of approval, the conversation has shifted from how good is she to how far can she go? Let's talk about the media buzz. After TaylorMade posted the video, it exploded. Golfers who barely knew Korda's name were suddenly searching her highlights. Instructors were forwarding the clip to their students like it was homework. Watch this. Learn from this. This is how it's done. One Reddit user posted, "This might be the single best 8 minutes of golf instruction I've ever seen. I've paid for full-day lessons that didn't teach me this much." Another comment summed up the general vibe. Tiger just dubbed Nelly an all-time great. That's the headline. And honestly, it is. Because it validates everything fans of women's golf have been saying for years. Nelly Korda isn't just good for the LPGA. She's just good, period. And when one of the most dominant players in golf history says that out loud, it resets the conversation. But here's what makes this moment so powerful. It's not just about legacy or hype. It's about recognition. One era acknowledging another. One icon looking across the fairway and saying, yeah, she's built for this. Of course, as the dust settles, the next question becomes, What does this mean for the 2025 season? Is this a one-off moment of respect or the beginning of something bigger? Because as much as we love a viral quote, the proof is still in the play and both Tiger and Nelly have unfinished business this season. Okay, let's come back down to earth for a second. We've had the viral clip. We've had Tiger's legendary quote. But now it's time to zoom out and ask the big question. How does all of this translate into real-world golf in 2025? Because behind every viral moment, there's a leaderboard that still needs climbing, trophies that still need lifting, and titles that still hang in the balance. Let's start with Nelly Korda. Even if you weren't paying close attention, it's been impossible to ignore the quiet dominance she's maintained on the LPGA Tour. Sure, the Chevron Championship wasn't her best showing, a shaky start, a few too many misfires, and a T14 finish that didn't exactly scream world number one. But here's the thing, she still is the number one ranked LPGA player in the world. And she's still the woman every other golfer is circling on the tee sheet. Korda's not limping into the next phase of the season, she's loading up. With her sights locked in on the upcoming ShopRite LPGA Classic and the US Women's Open, there's a different kind of energy surrounding her now. One that's been amplified by Tiger's endorsement. That kind of spotlight can either fry a player or fuel them. And if you've been watching Nelly over the years, you already know which way she's leaning. Sources from the LPGA confirm that Korda has been sharpening her game with relentless focus, especially inside that magical 100-yard range. Every practice session is dialed in. Every approach shot is a test. Because she's not just playing for trophies anymore, she's defending a legacy that's being shaped in real time. But while Korda is surging through her prime, we also need to talk about the other half of this power duo, Tiger Woods. At 49, Tiger isn't chasing every start anymore. He's playing chess, not checkers. But even in this new stage of his career, the man is still making moves. Word on the fairway is that Woods is targeting a return at the Genesis Invitational, the very tournament he hosts. Fans are already hyped, tickets are being snapped up like rare sneakers, and the buzz is exactly what you'd expect when Tiger's name re-enters the tournament mix. But there's more. NBC Sports recently hinted that Tiger is starting to prepare, quietly but deliberately, for a potential run on the PGA Tour champions. And honestly, why wouldn't he? That tour has never had a draw like Tiger, and if he shows up even semi-regularly, it's game over for everyone else. Sponsors will swarm, crowds will double, and TV ratings? Forget it. They'll skyrocket. The tailor-made video wasn't just a fun moment for fans, it was a statement. Tiger still has something to say, and Nelly's just getting started. If you're a golf fan, the 2025 season is shaping up to be something truly special. You've got a living legend sharpening his tools for one last campaign, and a current queen of the game evolving right in front of us, with all eyes on her now more than ever. And here's the kicker. As the spotlight grows hotter and the season ramps up, the ripple effect from this one short game video might still be unfolding, because if you thought that was the climax, nope, the real impact is what comes next. Let's be real, this wasn't just a fun YouTube video, this was a full-on moment, a turning point in how we talk about the short game, how we watch it, and how we learn it. Because for all the highlight reels and swing montages the internet throws at us, very few pieces of content actually change how the golf community thinks. This one did. Why? Because the 100-yard zone is golf's Bermuda Triangle. It's where rounds unravel, where birdies become bogeys, and where a solid drive turns into a double bogey with one fat wedge. Golfers, from weekend warriors to junior players to aspiring pros, all struggle with this range. It's awkward. It demands touch, judgment, and discipline. And most people don't have a clue what they're doing when they get there. Enter Tiger Woods and Nelly Korda, two of the sharpest minds in the game, dropping pure strategy on this exact shot window. No fluff, no gimmicks, just precision mechanics and mental clarity, stripped down and served cold. And that's what shook people, because it wasn't just what they said, it was how they said it. Woods explained how every wedge shot starts with a mental map. Wind, slope, lie, spin. He talked windows, not targets. He visualized the shot's life cycle. Launch, apex, bounce, rollout. You don't get that in a standard golf lesson. You barely get that from most commentators. Then Korda stepped in and flipped expectations upside down. No macho, hit it hard talk, no robotic routine. just calm, deliberate execution. She broke down why she never hits 100-yard shots at full power, why 90% is the sweet spot, why she shapes shots subtly based on the conditions, and trusts her feel more than her yardage book. Her strategy? Control over chaos. The brilliance is in their efficiency. They don't waste movement. They don't guess. They don't hope the ball stops close. Every move is intentional. And that mindset, that razor-sharp discipline from two players at the top of their game, is what's inspiring golfers everywhere to rethink the short game entirely. This is why it landed so hard. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't overproduced. It was real. And the golf world felt that. Which leads us to the question that's been echoing ever since this dropped. Do you think Nelly Korda is really on the level Tiger's describing? Is she one of the best to ever live? That's a big claim, and now it's up to her to back it up on the course. But based on what we saw, a lot of fans are ready to believe it. And maybe an even better question is this: should more crossover videos like this happen? Imagine a Rory x Lydia Ko breakdown, a Rahm x Lexi Power clinic. The possibilities are endless, and the appetite is clearly there. Your turn now. Drop your take in the comments. Did Tiger go too far with the praise, or did he just say what we've all been thinking? Should the PGA and LPGA do more of these mixed spotlight features? Either way, one thing is clear. This wasn't just a tutorial. It was a statement. A masterclass in thinking, feeling, and executing under 100 yards, and the ripple effect is still spreading through the golf world. Hit that like, share it with your golf crew, and make sure to check out the next short game breakdown appearing on your screen right now.